Well, I thought that it would be wonderful if I could, in fiction, one of the great themes in fiction is to have a sort of an innocent guy go into a small village and have an adventure and save the day.
Right.
Typical of most American Western stories. So in using that plot, I had my hero, Frank, come into this small town and go through the adventure of finding out why the ship was sunk and what was the story behind it. And it just seemed to me that that was a lot like when I went to NAMM. I went over there, I had all these idealistic reasons to go there, and I went through a lot of issues when I was there, and at the end I came out of it having stood up as best I could to the danger and gotten through it. And that's a lot like, well, what Frank faces. I'm not going to say whether he stands up to it or not, but...
Yeah, I was going to say, and an unlikely hero, too. It's not your common day hero.
Yeah.
He's very level-headed, intelligent, and then you also tied in some characters that he works with, which would go into your romance, which is unexpected.
Yeah.
When I read that chapter, I was like, oh.
Well, there's Pastor Allingham, who's in a lot of my books. He's the proverbial black preacher who I've known and I've worked with when I was working in civil rights work down here. He's not any particular one. He's a mix of men that I've known over the years in different cities. And he has a particular interest in a slave graveyard that's sort of a legend. But he thinks it's where this wreck is. And then there's the woman archaeologist from the state who is the most dedicated archaeologist in the world up against the bureaucracy. And then our hero, Frank, who is at one time was a very idealistic guy, but has now gotten involved with university politics, and he's really mostly interested in getting down here, getting this job done for the rich guy, and getting back. And of course, the rich guy, Jake Termit, is somebody whose family owned this property in the old days, and has gone out and made a ton of money, and he's come back to build this thing sort of out of pride, and he just wants to get it done. So you have all those issues.
And Jake's like the guy you love to hate.
Yes, but he has, in himself, he's a very interesting guy, and in a way, you sympathize with him.